Yes, yes, yes. What's going on, everybody? Today is Tuesday, December the 3rd, 2024, 7:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the Voice Man Studios in Toronto, Canada. And this is episode 297 of McRae Live. Do it again! We're not done. And I want to jump on and just talk about this, talk about the broader issue of this, but it stems from this kind of thing being in the news recently because of the movie Wicked, and then, of course, everybody's kind of been talking about it, and I want to hear from you. I want to hear your horror stories. I want to know what you think about this topic. I want to know, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Come on. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it again. Do it again. Do it again. We'll see who rolls on in. Everybody, does anybody care? I don't know. Maybe we'll just be talking amongst ourselves. Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 297 of McRae Live. We are 3 episodes away from the big 300. That's incredible, wild, amazing. So I wanted to talk about movie theater etiquette. Now, I have talked about this in the past, but it's a hot topic that's come up again. And what was it, last week or the week before or whatever it was, where, you know, the movie Wicked, based on the musical, came out. It's done very well so far at the box office. I have not seen it, but I'm sure a lot of you have. And, it's doing well, and people are excited about it. And there were some articles and some stories that were coming out. Whoa. My microphone has dropped way down. I don't know what's going on here. Hang on a sec. Why did my microphone drop all the way down? Hello, hello, hello. There we go. That's better. I wonder what happened there. That's kind of weird. Well, why it did that, I have no idea. That was weird. Huh. Strange. I did get very quiet, and I don't know why. It's as if OBS decided to automatically, it should not have done that. But anyway, here I am. I don't know what happened there. That was very weird. This is something I hit. I didn't know I hit. I don't know. Anyway, I'll keep an eye on it. But yes, and I keep thinking that this is, hang on. I keep thinking I see the autofocus on, and I turned the autofocus off. I think the autofocus is on. Watch this. I'm going to open this up here, and it's going to be on again, isn't it? It's not. Oh, wait. I'm also looking at the wrong one. It totally is on. There we go. That's better. That's better, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's get this started. Wicked, obviously doing very well, and people are excited about it. And, of course, this came out recently that there are people that are going to see Wicked. Well, let me start here. Look, movie theater etiquette, this kind of thing is nothing new. We all have horror stories. I want you to share your horror stories with me today, your movie-going experience horror stories from people who just, you know what I'm talking about. I want to hear it. Get them into me tonight. So Wicked, yeah. I mean, doing very well at the box office. People are excited about it, but there were some stories that came out that there are some people that are going to the movie, and because it's a musical, happen to be singing along to all the songs that are there. And some people have been reported to be dancing in the aisles, and singing along to Wicked. I don't know the song, so, but they're going crazy and they're having fun. And, there's one side of the coin where you'll get people going, oh, come on, it's a musical. I mean, if there's any movie that that it should be okay for you to, let loose and sing along, and it should be at musicals. And if it's a really popular musical and it's fun and families and people are up in the aisles and they're dancing with their popcorns, okay. That's one side of the coin. And then there's the other side of the coin, which is, no, you need to shut up, sit your goddamn ass down, zip your mouth from the beginning of the movie until the end of the movie, watch the movie, and shut up. I lean far more in that area, far more in that regard. But I tend to I tend to be a little more understanding, in certain situations. However, there were people that were coming out that were saying, well, you know what? It should be okay in a musical because it's a musical. And one of the reasons why people get really upset when people are talking during a movie, or people are getting really loud, or somebody starts screaming and yelling in excitement, and is because other movie-going patrons, other moviegoers, get angry because they miss out on what the dialogue is. You're cheering over the dialogue, or you're, yelling and screaming over the dialogue. Whatever. I'm missing out on the movie. Now, I don't know what's going on. But during a musical, well, it's okay if you're singing along because the audience is singing the words anyway. So you're still hearing the words, so it shouldn't matter. No, it does matter. It does matter because I did not go to the movie to listen to a bunch of karaoke voices spew out these lyrics. That's not why I'm there. I'm there to watch professionally trained singers who know how to sing and carry a fucking tune. Now, does that mean that there isn't anybody, or maybe some people in the audience that don't know how to sing or that can carry a tune? Sure, but there's also Steve and John and Barbara and Julie and Carol and Beth who can't carry a bloody tune if their life depended on it. And I got to sit there and listen to a shitty version of whatever is actually coming out of the movie theater screen. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't care if it's a musical. Shut up. I didn't pay $15, $20 to sit in the movie theater and listen to you. You're not in the movie. You're not a part of the movie. You're not a part of the soundtrack. I didn't go to listen to you sing the song. I went to listen to, what's Ariana Grande, whatever her name is. Her, if I had gone to see Wicked. Which I haven't. But that's why you're there. You're there to hear the actors or the singers in the musical who are singing the songs, right? I'm not here. I don't want to listen to, some half-ass version of Phantom of the Opera by Bob, who's sitting there going, oh, shut up, Bob. I want to hear what's coming out of the screen. It's a movie, and this isn't your living room, so it blows my mind that these people just feel, well, this should be fine. This isn't a sporting event. Okay? It's not the Super Bowl. This is a movie theater. So no, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it that because it's a musical and you're, even if people start singing, you're still hearing the dialogue, you're still hearing the words. Yeah, but I'm not hearing it the way it was meant to be heard. I'm not hearing it the way, the reason I paid for. I paid for it to listen to the actors, to the musicians, to the singers. That's why I'm sitting there. I'm not sitting there. I didn't pay $20 to sit in your fucking living room and listen to you half-ass karaoke the goddamn song. That's not why I'm there. So shut up. Shut up. Shut up. That's not why I'm there. So I've always had a thing with this kind of thing. And I think if you are a big movie person, I think you likely will feel the same way as me. If you're a big movie person, you'll likely feel the same way. You care about, if you are the kind of person, all right, that will sit down with your best friend or with your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or whatever, and you're the kind of person that will sit there and you'll get them to watch your favorite movie. You love this movie, right? And they haven't seen it. And you will spend more time watching them watch your favorite movie. Oh, you're a movie person. That's how you know you're a movie person. And you know all the wonderful things throughout the movie that make you feel all kinds of emotions. And you're looking at them, wanting to see if they respond in the same way. It's always disheartening when they don't. But you know what I'm saying? If you're that kind of person, chances are speaking and singing during a movie irritate the hell out of you. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that irritates me, and again, but there's nuance here, right? There's nuance. It's not that you can't respond at all, right? If there's a scary thing that happens and, the movie theater goes, or a girl goes, that's part of the experience. That's cool. It's fleeting, right? These are in the moment, natural, organic responses to the emotions that you're feeling in certain horror movies or something like that, right? Maybe there's a superhero movie or a Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie where a character comes on screen and there's a couple of moments of, oh yeah, woo, yeah, all right, oh, this is cool, yeah, woo. That's okay, as long as it's just, it's a few seconds. I get it. What I don't understand and I don't get is when these clips, I'll watch these clips of, and I don't know if it's an age thing or what's going on, but I will watch these clips of like big moments during a Marvel movie or a DC film where people are going, ah! They stand up like, and it's usually guys. It's usually probably 19, 21-year-old guys. Ah! And they're standing up and their popcorn's flying all over the place. And the movie, and all you see on the screen is, and all you hear is, ah! And it's like, shut up. Like, it's okay to respond, woo, all right, yeah, that's okay, because it's just a couple of seconds, right? It's just a couple of seconds, and that's kind of fun. But to stand up in your chair, ah! Like, sit down, shut the fuck up. I can't stand it. This isn't your living room. I want to punch these little fucking kids. Just like, shut up. Like, Jesus. I don't know if it's because I'm 45 and it's a different generation, but, yes, there's always like, being in a big movie, an event movie, right? A Star Wars movie or, whatever. It can be fun when the emotions are there and there's hoots and hollering and woo, or all right, or laughs or whoa. That's fine. But it's the excessive, it's the gratuitous, unnecessary, that goes on for like 5 minutes and 18 lines have gone by and you have no idea what the hell is going on. That stuff I can't stand. I can't stand it. And to this day, I still don't understand how there are so many people still to this day that don't think to take their phones, not only put them on silent or vibrate, okay? It's amazing how there's still people that don't do that, but also turn the brightness on your screen down. I mean, Jesus, in a dark theater, it's like a goddamn 747 coming in. You know what I mean? It's like God is coming out of the chair beside me. Oh, it's like, turn the brightness down. You can still see it. You can still read it, but it's not intrusive. It's not invasive. It doesn't light up the whole theater like God is coming out of your crotch. You know what I mean? Like, why have people not figured this? I mean, some people have. I do it. I will always put my phone on silent and I will always, actually on vibrate, and I will always turn the brightness down and I will put the phone under my thigh. I will put it under my thigh so that I can feel, it vibrate. If I'm expecting, well, I don't always put it there, but if I'm expecting, a text message or an email or a phone call from my agent, then that's where I'll usually put it, right? If not, then I will just put it in my jacket or I'll put it in the cup holder. And then if I get, a notification, or if I get a text message, or if I get a phone call, it's going to light up, but it's going to be very, very, very dim. It's not going to be noticeable to anybody else in the movie theater, unless there's somebody that's sitting like right beside me. But I'm going to notice it because it's right there. It's right in my peripheral, right? So I'm going to see it because it's bright enough that it's going to catch my attention, but it's so dim that it's not going to be noticeable to anybody else in the movie theater. So please, if you're somebody that goes to the movie theater and you regularly get text messages, notifications, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, turn your brightness down. If you feel the need to check your phone, turn the brightness down. Like, come on, man. It's mind-boggling. People are still, the brightness is all there. Hey, Bob. Yeah, I'm in the theater. Shut up. Shut up. Do you not understand where you are? You're not in your living room. Shut the up. It is mind-boggling that there are still people that don't get it. I don't get it. Like, come on. It's crazy to me, man. It's crazy. It's not your living room. And then there's the talkers. Whenever I am watching a movie with somebody, I'm sitting in the movie theater. If I feel the need to say something to the person I'm with, right? I will lean over and I'll get quite close and I'll be like, hey, I just want to, I'll whisper it. They can hear me. I'm right here. They can hear me. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to the movies with, your wife or your husband or your girlfriend or, your best friend, somebody who so you can get fairly close with to the ear. So, it's not going to be like, oh, Bob, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, you can get fairly close and be like, oh, that's amazing. I fucking love that part, dude. That's awesome. And then they can be like, yeah. Or just nod and go, I know. Like, it seems just natural to me. Like, that's what I've always done, with my friends. Like, it's always been kind of like, oh, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? But there's people that are like, oh, dude, look at that. Yeah. What are you doing? What are you, shut up. Hey, what are you doing? There's other people here. What are you doing? I don't understand the people that, like, do you remember when you were kids? Indoor voices. Use your indoor voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you talking as if you're just sitting in, it's stunning to me. Mind-boggling. And then there are those that, you get people that are always getting up. They're always getting up. It's like, listen, if you can't hold your pee or your shit in for 90 minutes, then don't go to the movies. Don't go to them. I don't know where you're going. I don't know what's going on, but you know how many people that just get like, and you got to, you got to get up like this and let them in. You got to turn your feet to the side like, sorry, excuse me, sorry, excuse me, sorry. It's like, why do you keep getting up? Children. All right. If I go to a children's movie, a kid's movie, something from Disney, an animated film, Toy Story, the Incredible, whatever it is. If it's a kid's movie and you get kids there and they're laughing, but they're laughing at the movie. You know what I'm saying? They're laughing at the movie. They're kids. I get kids. When you go to a children's movie, an animated film, like a bona fide kids movie, not a family movie necessarily, but a kids movie, like a real kids movie. You know what? The laughing, the giggling, the getting up, the parents having to take their kids. That's you kind of know that going in. You kind of know that, okay, I'm going to see an animated film. The theater's going to be full of 5, 6, 7-year-old kids, and you always hope for the best, right? But usually it's a kids movie. You got to be prepared to be in a theater with a kids movie. There are some great parents out there that do, and there are some great kids that shut the hell up through the whole thing. It's amazing. I was one of those kids. At 6 years old, I was just like, because I just was, oh my God, look at the size of the screen. You know what I'm saying? But you do have some kids that are spoiled, rotten little brats, and they're not disciplined, and they're just like, And it's just like, oh God, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of par for the course. Yeah, I mean, you're watching Toy Story. What do you expect? But if you're in a family movie, parents have to, assess the theater. They have to assess the situation. And if your kid, and you know it, if your kid is a pain in the fucking ass, then don't take them to the movie theater. And listen, parents love kids. When a parent says, "Oh, I love kids," no, you don't. No, you don't. You love your kids. You love your kids, and even then. But I'm just saying that you love your children. You do. But other kids, you know what I'm saying? And so, if you have one of those kids, if you have a child, if you know your kids are like, la, 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 don't take them. Don't take them. Yeah, but I should have a right to, yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, you should have a right. But then you should also be mindful of, okay, I'm taking my la, 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 la kid to the movie theater. So I have to learn, I have to teach my child before I go. I got to say, little Bobby, yes, mommy. We need to learn to, now we're in a movie theater and there's going to be other families there. And we have to make sure that we're very, very quiet. So you have to use your indoor voice. My indoor voice like this. Yeah, that's right. Your indoor voice like that. So you don't want to, you have to teach your kids, man. You can't just bring your kid to the movie theater. Like, what is going on, parents? Read the room. Look where you are. Look where you are. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Movie theater etiquette. It's just like, treat it like you're at a stage play. Right? Treat it like you're at the ballet or you're at the opera. Treat it like you've gone to the opera and shut up. Okay? Treat the movie-going experience like you've gone to the opera and shut your mouth. I did not pay, nor did anybody else pay to listen to you yap. So shut up. This is what you're doing. This is what you need to be doing. Oh my God. Movie theater etiquette. Ladies and gentlemen, what grinds your gears? Explain to me. Talk to me, folks. Talk to me. Why do you think it's this way? If you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Let me know your movie theater experiences, your horror stories. Why do you think it's like this? I'm sorry. I mean, I think that, those of you that are going to see Wicked, I'm not saying I want to remove all the fun out of enjoying the movie, but I do not think, and I do think it's inappropriate for people to start singing out loud. Like you're at a bar. Like, I think that is wildly inappropriate and downright rude in a movie theater, even if it's a musical, because you're not in the fucking movie. Okay? And I don't want to hear Uncle Bob's drunk karaoke voice. You don't have to be drunk, but you know what I'm saying. I don't want to hear, because 9 times out of 10, people who think they can sing can't. And, no, I'm in tune. Sounds, most of the people that are going to be in that movie theater belting out the lyrics with this, with the movie are in the shower singers. They're karaoke singers. Okay. And so I don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. We didn't pay to come and hear that. So, just hum along or just tap your foot or just be like, because it's not loud enough to, it's going to, or just don't do anything and just enjoy the music. You're not at a fucking concert. Okay, you're not at a concert. You're at a movie. It's very different. But maybe it's a generational thing. I don't know. But it's just like, it's infuriating to me. It's absolutely infuriating to me. So, yeah, let's Let's see what you were all saying about this. Now, I know a couple of super chats did come in from Josh McKenna. Josh sends in a member chat. Thank you, Josh, and says, this has happened to be too many times to count, but I remember seeing House at the end of the street and a couple of teenage girls were late, so they shined flashlights. The movie already started. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Josh follows up with a very generous super chat of $19.99. Thank you, Josh, and says, not my story, but one of my friends told me someone's sung during the Wicked movie. Yeah, we're just talking about that during despite a sign telling people not to sing. It reminds me of people screaming during Deadpool. I didn't pay to hear anyone sing or cheer loudly. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is that, again, there is, I'm not a party pooper. I'm not an idiot. I mean, if you're going to see an event film that people are excited about, I expect some cheers or some natural, organic responses. But if it's truly organic, it's fleeting. It lasts a couple of moments. Like when I went and saw The Force Awakens, right? When Han Solo and Chewie came onto the screen, there was some organic, woo, yeah, all right. But it lasts 5-10 seconds. You know what I mean? Like it's not lasting, 10 minutes. And people aren't leaping out of their seats, tossing the popcorn in the air. It's just this it's overacting, no pun intended. It's just so ridiculous. It's intrusive. It's rude. And these people just need a swift punch in the face. You just do. You just do, because it's not your living room. If you want to do that, then do it in your living room. But you're in a movie theater, man. I'm not saying take the fun out of it altogether, but I don't know, man. It's true. I'm beginning to feel like I'm getting to that age where I'm just like, the world's just not for me anymore, and I'm only 45, but I'm 5 years away from 50. And I feel like I'm at that age now where I'm just like, I'm not, the world, the TikToks and that. I'm just like, I'm just not, it's just, good luck. Frank Riker sends in $5, says, I didn't see anyone whipping asses or performing sexual acts during the screening of 50 Shades of Grey, much to my disappointment. Stop singing. Could you imagine? Although it wouldn't be the first time, I'm sure, that sexual acts have gone on in the movie theater. Yeah, I mean, it's wild. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just absolute nonsense, in my opinion. Absolute nonsense. Super chat from Josh McKenna sends in $9.99. Thank you, Josh, and says, when I saw Barbie, a grown adult kept audibly commenting on the dialogue, references, and the Barbie and Kens. I get it's a fun movie, but it's a packed theater. I don't want to play-by-play. Well, that's it too, right? Again, folks, there's nothing wrong. There's been many times where I'll be in the theater with, friends or Bruce or, what have you. And I will sit there and something happens and I might lean over and go, holy shit, dude, that was fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Or I love that shot. Great mood. Something like that. But me going, now it sounds loud to him because I'm whispering it in his ear, but nobody else can hear it. I have never in my life turned to somebody I was with and gone, holy shit, holy fuck, that was awesome. Wow. What am I doing? What? Why am I, what? Shut up. You can still get the same, or tap your buddy on the arm, and be like, and they're like, you've got to know the environment, know where you are. Oh my God. But this etiquette thing is it's strung along so many different areas now. Like I'm a jogger, right? And I've been running it'll be 30 years next year that I've been jogging. And I will jog on the sidewalk. So sometimes I begin I never jog on like a main road, but I'll jog on the neighborhood road. And then when I get out to like a main road, I'll hop up onto the sidewalk or something. And there's something I like to call sidewalk etiquette. Now I'm running, right? And there could be two people that are coming towards me, right? A husband, a wife, a brother and a sister, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever, two friends. And they're taking up the two lanes of the sidewalk. And I'm on the right side, which is, I don't have to be on the right side. It's the sidewalk. But, in my mind, instinctually, I'm on the right because, we here in North America drive on the right and, whatever, right? And there's been so many times where I will be jogging towards this young couple or these two guys or whatever, and they're not getting out of the way. They're not getting out of the way. Like, it takes 1 second for one guy to dip behind the other, let me pass and come back out. Why do I have to be the one to, run up onto the hill around you and then back down, which I've done a couple of times, but there's been once or twice in my life where I haven't. And we've bumped shoulders. That's what, they kind of get out of the way, a little bit, but we've bumped shoulders. And they'll be like, oh, fuck. And I'll be like, well, get the fuck out of the way. And I say that. And when I say it with, confidence in my kind of delivery as I can, they usually shut down and shut up. But it's like, what are you doing? Like, if I see a jogger that's coming towards me and I'm with somebody on the sidewalk, I'll happily just take one step to the right and let them pass. Like, what's this like? Well, here comes a jogger. No, fuck, it's my fucking sidewalk, bruh. Hey, bruh. Come on, bruh. Like, what happened to sidewalk etiquette? What the fuck happened to, just move out of the way. Just like, we're sharing the sidewalk. Why do I have to go to the moon and come around you and go by? Like, just fucking, I don't get it. It takes 5 seconds. You don't own the sidewalk. Just move out of the way. And if you're somebody that does that, stop it. Stop it. Like, what do you think? Oh, here it comes. I'm going to make them move. Like, it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. No sense at all. There's so many things like that I'm just like, was it like this in the 80s? Was it like this in the 90s? I don't know. But it's like this now in the 2020s. And I'm just like, what is going on, man? But movie theater etiquette. Now, that's not the reason why I don't go to the movie theater a lot. Some people don't go to the movie theater a lot because whether it's prices or whether it's because of the movie theater or the lack of, movie theater etiquette or they just like the convenience of, watching it at home. That's not really it for me. I love going to the movie theater. I always have. I love the movie theater going experience. Best way to watch a movie. When things are good, when everybody's behaving, of course. And it can be a great way to watch a really great horror movie in a packed movie theater. That can be a lot. There's really no, I don't care what you say. I mean, I've seen all genres. I've seen, there's really truly nothing like being in a packed movie theater, watching a great, scary horror movie with a packed house. That can be a lot of fun. But I don't frequent the movie theaters a lot just simply because if I'm going to go to the movie theater and spend $15, $20 to watch a movie, it's got to be a movie I really want to see. I don't just go to the movie. When I was a teenager, those were the days when you were like, hey, I don't know, what do you want to do? I don't know, you want to go to a movie? Let's go. You didn't even know what movie you were going to see until you got to the theater. I don't know if those days are gone now. I get the impression that today, in today's world, people go to the movie theater, they already know what movie they're going to see. And of course that happened back in those days as well. But it was very common for, especially being a teenager in the 90s to say things like, I don't know, what do you want to do? I don't know, let's go to the movies. And you just went to the local movie theater to see what was playing and then you pick something. Or you might have an idea, but you know what I mean? But I tend to, I go to the movie theater because I really want to have that movie theater experience with that movie. Most movies, like the last time I was at the movie theater. Now, to be fair, there were some other movies that did come out after this movie that I totally could have gone to the theater to see. I just didn't end up doing it. But the last movie I saw in the movie theater was Longlegs, and that was back in the summer. And then the last movie before that I saw in the theater was Abigail and House of the Devil. And so I don't, again, it takes a lot. I don't just go Just because there's a horror movie that's coming out doesn't mean I go to the movie theater to see it, which is another reason why I can never be a movie reviewer, despite the fact that I get lumped in with the movie. I get called that, and I understand why, but I'm not really a movie reviewer. But movie reviewers have to go to the movie theater and see everything. And I'm just like, oh God, I can't even. And I mean, I got to go watch everything. Oh my God, I can't, you know what I mean? So, no, I reserve going to the movie. I'm like, I really wanted to see the substance in the movie theater, and I don't. It might still be playing, but I just got busy with Billy 2 and all that kind of stuff, and I just never got around to going to see it. But that was one I really wanted to go see in the movie theater. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, if you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on movie theater etiquette. We got Alex Shambach, who's been a member for 15 months. Amazing. Sends in a member chat and says, this may be more with my generation, Gen Z, but I often get frustrated whenever I see someone post from the movie. For one, why do you feel the need to post during a movie, and why spoil a scene? I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think I'm okay with people posting that they're at the movie theater, or posting, the title of the movie, or something like that, or a reaction after the movie or whatever. But yeah, I'm not a fan, and I never have been, of course, of bootlegged, shitty quality spoilers from movies where somebody is sitting in the movie theater, shooting on their phone, hiding behind a seat because they don't want anybody else to see that they're on their phones. So they're either like this, or they're kind of down here, so it's kind of cropped a little bit, or whatever the case is. Or maybe they're in a theater by themselves and they don't care, and they're just doing this, and it's perfect framing. But I've never been a fan of that at all. I think it's garbage because it's not how it was intended to be seen or heard. And I remember when the Halloween Kills trailer, I think, that leaked. And I had reported when it was going to be released. I had called it because of a reputable source that I have that was in a position to know this information. Again, this doesn't come from Bob's Fart Blog. This is somebody who's in a position to know this information. So I did that both with the coverage of Kills and Ends, and then it leaked. The trailer leaked online from somebody who works at one of the movie theaters, was able to play the trailer, why Universal didn't lock it with a code until it was meant to be seen. I don't know, because studios can do that. Universal doesn't, for some reason. So therefore anybody can watch it anytime and leak it, and that's what happened. But I remember, despite what we think about the movie now, we hadn't seen the movie at that time. And I remember people, they were judging the quality of the trailer based on this leaked shitty quality version that was probably in like 720p or something like that, filming a screen and all this kind of stuff. And I remember saying to people, look, maybe the movie will suck, but you can't judge it based on this 720p bootlegged leaked trailer from somebody hiding behind the arm of some theater chair filming that. Like, what are you doing? That's why, that shit is so frustrating, because you're not seeing it as it's meant to be seen, as it's meant to be heard in all its quality and glory. So yeah, that stuff is just dog shit. But that stuff is done merely because of the social media age, and because of the dopamine hits and the likes and the hearts and all that. That is done simply for dopamine. Now they don't think of this consciously, of course, but they have it. I'm going to leak it. I'm going to watch what I've done, so everybody who's talking about it, everybody who's sharing it, everybody who's retweeting it, I can sit back and know that was all because of me, and I can watch it unfold, and I can, all that. That's why it's done, because there's no reason to do it. There's no reason beyond that to do it. So yeah, it's very, very frustrating, very annoying. Happy Sanjo has been a member for 11 months and has gifted 1 membership to Tommy G76. Amazing. Thank you very much, Happy Sanjo. Really appreciate that. Gifting a membership to Tommy G76. Logan Reynolds sends in $4.99. Thank you, Logan. Says, I'm done showing people my favorite movies. Tried twice recently with someone who starts giving loud and silly commentary as soon as the opening credits. So wait, you're with a friend of yours and they start talking during the movie? Well, just tell them to be quiet during the movie. Maybe you're showing the wrong person. If you're sitting in the comfort of your own home and you're watching a movie and you want to show them this movie and they start talking, I'd be like, Bob, shh, quiet, we're watching a movie. I want you to see my favorite movie. Yeah, there's nothing, thankfully, most of the time that I've been in that position where I've watched my favorite movie, whatever that is, of course, we have a bunch of them, with somebody who's yet to see that. I don't think I've ever had an experience where somebody hated a movie that I really liked. I don't think so anyway. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I don't think so. RJ Skorenke says, Dave, remember when some moron leaked out the ending of Scream 2022? I don't remember that, but I have no doubt that you probably are right. You're probably right. But yeah, I'm not sure. Chicken Sandwiches. I remember watching Invisible Man for the first time with my buddy, and he would not shut the fuck up through the whole thing. Ruined the experience. You know what? If he's your buddy, man, then that's when I would have said, dude, you got to be quiet. Like, we're watching a movie. You need to be quiet. We can talk about the movie afterwards, but you can't talk about the movie, especially if we're in a movie theater. And if you're in the comfort of your own home, then yeah, be like, hey, Bob, be quiet, man. Like, we're watching a movie. Yeah, I would never put up with that. I would never put up with that. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. There's a polite way to say to your friend. And if they're your friend for a long time, then, they should be understanding. Be like, hey, Bob, let's watch the movie. Some people don't, look, there are a lot of people in this world that lack, social cues that just don't, and I think it is getting worse. It sounds like such a cliche that each generation, because of course, when I was a young boy growing up through the 80s and a teenager in the 90s, my parents were always like, back in my day, or, and their parents would have been, back in my day, and their parents would have been, back in my day. So it is a generational thing, but there's some truth to it. There's some truth to it because of the technology expanding exponentially and things speeding up faster and faster and faster in a shorter amount of time. It just gets crazy, and I think we are I hate to say this, but it sounds so pretentious, but it feels like we're a dumber society. I don't mean that everybody who is a Gen Z or a millennial or whatever the case is that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it feels like there's a lot of that. There is that, like, it just like, on what planet do you think it's okay going to a movie theater where everybody is quiet watching a movie, but you, for whatever reason, are being loud, talking on your phone or talking to your friend loudly or, screaming and shit? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand where, but then again, when you look at some people and how they are with their own children and I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different maturity levels. There's a lot of different intelligence levels and obviously people that don't know. But I'm not even talking about people like, again, there are people obviously with cognitive, disabilities that maybe they're in a movie theater and they lash out because they have a disability. And that's something that you understand. And then maybe whoever they're with might say, oh, Bob, we have to be quiet and, blah, blah, blah. Of course, right? Again, there's nuance to these things, right? I'm talking about, quote unquote, normal intelligence, sound mind people that are just like you and me, that are just there and they're sitting there. And for whatever reason, they just start yapping away as if they're in their own living rooms. And it's just, it's shocking to me. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. Deedly. D-Man says, hey, Dave, do you have a YouTube rep or anyone who could help? The Google account associated with my 100K subscriber channel has been hijacked. This was my livelihood. Need help badly. Do you have a YouTube? I don't have a YouTube rep. No, I'm sorry, D-Man. My apologies. I don't know what to say. If it's been hacked, then maybe reach out to YouTube and and find out what's going on. I'm not a big enough channel to have a YouTube rep. No, I gotta wait in line just like everybody. So my advice to you would be to reach out to YouTube and find out what's going on. Let me see here. Bobby Hall says, Dave, once I was at a theater and these two girls next to me kept talking. Eventually I asked them to be quiet and they denied that they were talking. I couldn't believe it. Well, yeah. Oh, they probably felt embarrassed, but the question is, did they stop talking? Hopefully they did. Let me see here, just scrolling back. Jamie Hart. Hey, what's going on? Jamie says, I literally went to the movies every weekend throughout most of the 80s and some of the 90s. It was like $5 to see a matinee. Beats bowling. Oh, I know. Those were the days. Well, and there was a movie theater for those of you from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. You might, who are old enough to remember, there was a movie theater in a mall in Ottawa called Westgate Cinemas. And they had, they play, now of course it wasn't the multiplexes we have today with the stadium style seating and the 60-foot screens and, all that kind of stuff. It was, your typical movie theater in the mall. It's actually where I saw Halloween 6. But they played new releases, obviously, because this was just a regular theater. And they had Toonie Tuesdays. Now, my American friends might be like, what the hell is a toonie? Well, it is the nickname for our $2 coin. So in Canada, we used to have a $1 bill and a $2 bill. But we do not have a $2 bill. I think in the States, you don't have a $2 bill. I think you have or do you have a $2 bill? Yes, you do. It's the $3 bill you don't have. You have a 1, 2, and a 5, right? I think. Here in Canada, we had a 1, 2, and a 5. Now we just have the $1 bill became extinct in about 1987, and we had a $1 coin, which is called the loonie because it has a loon on it. And then in 1996, the $2 bill went away, and we got a $2 coin, slightly bigger than the loonie, has a polar bear on it, and with a gold center. It's a silver coin with a gold center, and it just became known as the toonie. $2 toonie, loony toonie. It was just a thing. Anyways, they had something called Toonie Tuesdays. And so you could go watch a movie for $2. $2. A regular movie, like a regular new release movie. It was crazy. Those days are long gone. Ladies and gentlemen. Those days are long gone. All right, have I got all the super chats and the member chats and all the stuff? I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything here. Let me see. I just want to make sure. Yes. Oh, Logan Reynolds. Yes. I got that one. Good. Chester Franklin Jr. says, I don't like going to theaters because people's phones are not on silent and kids being loud and talking while watching movies. It's true. Yeah, I mean, it's I can understand why people like to stay home. It's also the convenience of it. And obviously nowadays, I mean, look, in my personal opinion, nothing is ever going to beat the movie-going experience. I don't care how good your home theater is. You're not sitting in a movie theater with the level of quality of speakers that a, movie theater has with a 40-foot screen and digital, I mean, home theaters can be fun and they can be great for sure. But to sit in a movie theater, and it's such an immersive experience. And yeah, over the years, shit has gotten bad. But when you have that great experience, you watch that movie, whether it's a horror movie, whatever it is, man, it can, in my opinion, there's nothing like it. I love watching movies at the movie theater, of course. Wayne Gotke says, this is why I don't like to decide where I want to sit in the theater until I'm actually inside the theater, because you just never know what noisy people you're going to be sitting next to. That's true. But how do you do that? I guess if it's not packed, you can move, right? But I don't know what it's like in the States, but movie theaters here now, and for the last number of years, they are assigned seating, which it should have always been that way. I don't understand why it wasn't that way before, but now it's assigned seating, right? So you get a number and a row and, a letter on your ticket. So whether you purchase that online or whether you purchase it at the box office at the theater, you're still not going to know who you're sitting beside. So unless you're talking about movie theaters that don't do that, and that way you can, but again, I mean, if it's a movie theater that's not packed, right, then you can just move, right? If it's a packed movie theater, like if it's an opening night of some big movie, or something like that, then yeah, you're probably not going to be able to move. I used to sometimes I've been asked, do I go to opening night to big movies? Like a movie I really want to see, do I go opening night? I did for the Star Wars movies. I did because I was very excited to see The Force Awakens. I was very excited to see The Last Jedi. And it was one of the most disappointing movie-going experiences of my entire life. And then I was looking forward to seeing The Rise of Skywalker because I wanted to see what how he was able to bring it back. The Rise of Skywalker, oddly enough, is more loathed than the Last Jedi, and I find that interesting. Although I understand it, I find it interesting because I do think it's actually a better movie than The Last Jedi, which is not saying much, but I do think it is better. I think it's too bad J.J. Abrams didn't do all three, really, so there was at least some cohesion narratively. But anyway, I digress. But so I did go opening night for those movies because that was kind of exciting. But I rarely do. Unless it's a movie I just really want to see, But I saw Halloween 18 at the world premiere at TIFF. And that's the world premiere. Nobody's seen the movie yet. Nobody. Myself and Bruce were some of the first to see it. Two of the first to see it. And it was held at the Winter Garden Theater, the Elgin Theater. They're two stage theaters, not like movie theaters, but they're two it's beautiful, just, beautiful, beautiful, ornate. And, they have the balconies and it's just absolutely stunningly beautiful. And it was packed, a packed house. And it's a horror movie. So there were people that, laughed at the comedic lines. There were people that went, oh, fuck, oh, at the right moments, whatever. But it wasn't intrusive. It wasn't, it's when you're with the right audience, with the right horror movie, it can be an awesome experience. Because again, I'm not saying that everybody has to sit there completely silent like you're in church or something. It's about balance. It's about reading the room. It's about understanding where you are. Let your emotions be organic, and I'm sorry, man, if these 15, 16, 17-year-old kids got up and started yelling and screaming in my movie theater, fuck, it's, oh my God, I can't beat them to a pulp, but man, I'd love to. It's just like, it's so rude. It's so like, sit down. You can be excited and hoot and holler from your seat for a couple of seconds. You don't have to cheer like somebody, like in hockey, right? You know, or if there's a touchdown in football, you know, whatever, you know, if they score a goal in hockey, the audience will stand up and cheer and everybody's clapping. That's not, you're not supposed to do that in a movie theater. Don't do that. Christ. Davey Deathray, what's going on? Davey sends in a member chat. Thank you very much. His hot take, but I'm so over nachos at the movie theater. Popcorn is loud enough, but it's an institution. So I'm okay with it. Just get those crunchy nachos the F out of there. This isn't a ball game. I've never really thought about that. Yeah, here in Canada, they have all that too. The nachos and, you know, the cheese and the popcorn and, you know, snacks and candy and chocolate bars, all that. We have all the same shit. And, you know, it's funny. I can't even remember the last time I had popcorn at a movie theater. It may be going back over 20 years. When I go to the movie theater, when I do go to the movie theater, I usually have nothing. I'll be honest with you. I usually don't have anything. But if I do have something, it's usually, I got into this kick for many years where I didn't have popcorn, but I would have candy, but like these sweet tarts, like the little like sugary candy or whatever. I just, for whatever reason, I really like them. And, or something sugary, something candy like Runts or, Nerds or something. I don't know. I was on that kick for many years and I really liked it. Probably not good for my teeth, but I liked it. And that's it. Like, I didn't get a drink or anything like that. I can't remember the last time I had popcorn. I remember, and maybe it was earlier for you guys in the States, I'm not sure, but I remember in the 90s when the Cineplexes really began to take shape, like the big Coliseum type movie theaters where you would go to this multiplex and there's like 24 theaters in there with stadium styles, like basically what a movie theater is now. Like, it's basically just a standard movie theater. But back in the 90s, these were brand new. Nobody had seen anything like this before. It's like, wait a minute, I can get popcorn and New York fries and Baskin Robbins and Pizza Hut at the movie theater? What? Like, it was mind boggling. I was like, what the hell? I can sit in my movie theater seat with fucking New York fries or Baskin Robbins? Like, what is happening? Like, as a teenager, it was like, you know, and it was wild. It was absolutely wild. But fuck, I don't know where I was going with that now. Anyways, maybe it'll come back to me. But fuck, where was I going with that? Talking about nachos, popcorn, candy. Oh, yeah. That's it. I remember being a teenager, going to the movies with my friends and getting popcorn. I do remember that. And I remember, maybe it was, maybe it was a thing in the 80s. I don't remember this though. I remember being new, where you would take your buttered popcorn, you'd go over to the concession sort of area where they had, you know, the napkins and the straws and all that. And they had like these different shakers of like dill pickle or sour cream and onion or white cheddar cheese or, white cheddar, whatever, or barbecue or ketchup. That's right. Canadian, all this stuff in like, and you could sprinkle it on your popcorn. And I remember being like, what? Now I know they had that stuff with microwave popcorn. I remember that you could buy flavored microwave popcorn. I remember that because they've had that for a long time, and you would sprinkle it into the popcorn, shake it after it's been popped and all that. And that was a lot of fun. But I don't recall ever it being in the theater until these big, massive theaters began to open up. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, this is amazing. And I fucking sour cream and onion. And then you could mix it. Popcorn with butter, with sour cream and onion fucking sprinkled on it, with some white cheddar sprinkled on it. It was amazing. I wasn't 500 pounds. But of course, as a teenager, you're always, moving and running. And I played hockey for 13 years. So I probably worked it off the next day, but oh my God, those were the days, man. Those are the days. Those are the days. Now it's not a big deal anymore. You know what I mean? Now the movie theater experience as a whole is in jeopardy because of home theaters and streaming and all that kind of stuff. So now it's not, it's everything, you know, which is why they've, you know, brought, you know, like arcades into it, and you can play games, and you can, and, you know, VIP theaters where you can fucking get ripped and completely inebriated while watching a movie, and people come to your seat, and you can order food now. And, you know, they're really trying, which has been a thing now for, you know, a long time now. I know that, but I'm just saying. And now they have like these experiences where it's like a panorama theater or something like that. Have you guys been to one of those? Why that? Oh, it just looks weird. It looks weird. I don't know. I've never watched a movie like that. It looks kind of weird. Anyways, I digress. AK Channel TV sends in $1.99. Thank you very much. Says, I had a guy smoking in my showing of Godzilla. Smoking? You mean like vaping or actually smoking tobacco? That's crazy. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Machete Slasher says, while watching Doctor Strange 2, a group of teenagers sat next to me and they were loud during the trailers when the actual movie were playing games on, they were loud during the trailer, and during the movie they were playing games on their phone with the volume and vaping. Very annoying. I don't like that's, I can tell you right now, if that was me, I would have walked out, and I would have gone right to the usher or to the manager, and I would have said, you need to kick these people out. You need to kick these people out, 100%. And if I was the manager of a movie theater, I would say, up, out, get out. Get out. No, we better want my money back. No, get out. Get out. And if I was nice, maybe I'd give them their money back. I don't have to. There's nothing at all that says I have to give you your money back. I mean, well, maybe there is in some sort of contract at a theater or something. It depends on what, you know, the manager. I don't know. To be fair, I don't know what sort of control that a theater manager has. But I'm telling you right now, that's dog shit. Playing phones, vaping in a theater, it's just wrong. It's just, I don't know who these people are. Like, it's so irritating. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. So wrong. The horror chat. Hey, what's going on, Cecil, my man? Cecil says, a guy sitting in front of me when I was visiting Canada at one point got so upset that he just stood up, walked over, and shit in the aisle, screaming, "Where's the moon?" For a minute, I thought you were being serious. That was me. That was me. I got up, I shat in the aisle, and I said, "Where's the mood and atmosphere, God?" I took a big dump right in the middle of the aisle, man. Right in the middle of the aisle. That's exactly what I did. Could you imagine? Oh my God. But there's people that just have no, like, again, if it's an organic response, right? If it's an organic is like, you know when it's organic because you don't have to think about it. It just happens. You know, like, oh, fuck, oh, shit, wow, you know, whatever, like, oh, you know, or, you know, a girl screams or whatever, like, it's organic, like, woo, all right, woo, you know, like that kind of thing. It lasts like 5-10 seconds, you know, but anything beyond that is just, it's, fuck, yeah, it's gotta be, you gotta put a stop to that shit. It's awful. Matthew Farisi says, non-movie theater related, but my dad used to want me to watch a movie with him. He wouldn't let me refuse. And then when the movie would play, he'd fall asleep and deny he was sleeping. My dad was similar. My dad was the same way. There were many times my dad and I would sit down to watch a movie and he would fall asleep. I remember he took me to see the first Ninja Turtles movie, the very first live action Ninja Turtles movie in 1990. And I remember he fell asleep in the movie theater to that. But yeah, my dad would often fall asleep during movies. I think it was because he was just so tired and he worked so hard and he was go all the time that the second he had a chance to actually sit down and relax, you know, he was good for maybe the first half hour and then he just started. And you know what's funny? I kind of feel that. I feel that now. And there's many times where I will sit down to watch a movie or even to watch it. Maybe I want to watch something on YouTube or, whatever it is. I'll sit down and for like the first half hour, I'm good. And then I start to feel, cause I have, a recliner, right? So I start to feel a little tired, but I'm okay. And then I'm like, oh my God. And there's been times where I will pause whatever it is I'm watching and I will just lie there and I will nap. Because I know I'm not going to be out like all night or all day. But it's just, my body's just saying, you need 20 minutes, and I'm just like, I can't fucking stay awake for this. Holy shit. And so I do. I will pause it and I will just lie there and I will fall asleep for like 20, 25 minutes, maybe half an hour. And then I will inevitably wake up and I will feel better. I'll wake up, maybe feel a bit groggy, but after, 30 seconds, a minute, I'm like, all right, I'm good. I can continue watching what I'm watching. And then I'm able to finish. And so, it never used to be like that when I was younger. So it's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Liana Beverage says, I sat behind an older couple during The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and the guy kept asking his wife to explain everything. He even asked, oh my God, really? Oh my God. Well, that's how you know, folks, that, you don't like it. It's, again, there's nothing wrong with talking to the person you're with, but I don't think people realize how loud your voice is in a quiet room. You have to whisper. Learn to whisper. If you get this close to your friend or your spouse's ear, you can just go, so what's going on here? Yeah, I really like it. Yeah, I know. And it'll be as loud to them as it was to you just now. They'll be able to hear it, but nobody else will. And then, they go back to you. And it doesn't matter. If I see two people talking in the movie theater, if they're going back and forth in each other's ears, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Those two people could talk the entire movie and I don't care because it's not affecting my experience. I don't hear them. I don't hear them. I don't care because I can't hear them. It's not a distraction to me. It's not a distraction. It becomes a distraction when it's like, so what's going on? Yeah, I really know. It's like, what are you doing? Shut up. I can hear you. Like it's a quiet movie theater. I can hear you. Quiet. It's crazy, 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 crazy. Odd Villain says, I went to see Avengers Endgame, and the second the opening credits started, a fat guy in the front of the theater started immediately snoring like a hog. A fat guy at the front of the theater began snoring like a hog. Oh, that would have been so nice. I would have gone and woken him up. Somebody must have, right? Somebody must have gone and woken him up, surely. Creepn666 says, Dave, it's $5 for movies at Imagine Cinemas near the Promenade, close to where I live, and $8 regular days. That's amazing. Now, that's probably a small, that's not like a multiplex big movie. Like, that's like the old school type of theaters, right? I would imagine. But maybe I'm wrong. But that's really good. That's really good. Really, really good. Logan Reynolds says, the last time I saw people erupt in laughter and excitement in the movies was when the doctor from Halloween Kills shot herself in the face. Yes, I remember that. The theater did that. The audience did that in my theater as well. But it was organic, right? It didn't last, 17 minutes. It was in the moment. It was organic, lasted, a few seconds, and that was it. Like, that is okay. I'm talking about the intrusive, obnoxious, completely out to lunch, rude, ignorant, sometimes willfully ignorant people that just suck the fun right out of everything when going to the movie theater because they're just so dumb. BBBB. Paralimmortal Inc. says, I remember watching The Batman and my uncle was using his flip phone and the brightness was bright and it pissed me off and he was snoring as the movie went on. Oh, God. Jesus. A flip phone. Oh, yeah, that's... I think your uncle needs to stay home. Don Wilk 91 says, I hate showing someone a movie and they're on the phone the whole time. I won't watch movies with them again if they do that. I don't understand this. I'm getting a few comments in here from people who are having this kind of experience when they show somebody their favorite movie. If you're showing somebody your favorite movie, I would assume that means that you are in the comfort of your own home, unless you're taking somebody to, you know what I mean? But if you're, folks, let me give you some advice for those of you out there. If you are showing somebody your favorite movie, and you are sitting in your living room showing this person your favorite movie, and they're one of your best friends, tell them to shut the fuck up. Tell them to put away their phone. Now, don't say it like that, but I'm just saying, like, say, hey, you know, dude, Bob, John, Steve, Ken, whatever their name is. Be like, I want to show you my favorite movie. Have you ever seen this movie? No, I've never seen it, man. Well, I want to show it to you because it's my favorite movie. And I want to share this experience with you. You don't have to say that, but that's psychologically and sociologically and unconsciously, that's why we do these things with our friends, because we want to bond with our friends. We want to share something that is important to us. We want to share something that's important to us with one of our best friends. And we hope that they can see it the way we see it and maybe it becomes important to them too, right? Again, we don't necessarily think of these things consciously, but that's what's happening here. And so, you know, you say, I really want to share. If your friend is sitting beside you on the couch on their phone, like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm showing you this movie. I want you to watch the movie. Say, hey, do you mind getting off your phone? Like, don't be afraid to say that. They don't have to be on their phone. Nobody has to be on their phone 24. And if they're expecting a call, if they're expecting a text, put it on vibrate, stick it under your thigh so you can feel the, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to be on your phone while, see, that's the thing. Because there's no excuse to be on your phone, whether it's in the movie theater or at home. There is never an excuse to be watching or to be on your phone while you're watching the movie. There's no excuse because you can put your phone on vibrate. So, and stick it under your thigh or just hold it in your hand. Just hold it in your hand and hold it in your lap as you watch the movie. If you're but I'm expecting a call from the babysitter. I'm expecting an important call from the doctor. I'm expecting an important call from my friend. Okay, put it on vibrate and hold it in your hand and watch the movie. And then if it vibrates, just look at it. And if it, if it's whatever the case is, if you're at home, just go, oh, hey, you know what? It is that, important thing I was waiting for. Do you mind pausing it for a second? Sure, no problem. Whatever the case is, right? But there's no excuse. There's no reason for anybody to be sitting there while the movie is playing, for you to be sitting there going, what do you, well, I'm waiting for the message. Well, then put it on vibrate and stick it under your thigh and watch the movie. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for it. People are addicted to their phones. Addicted. It's crazy. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Aaron Click says, my wife, girlfriend at the time, had to excuse herself from the theater during during the funeral scene with her comment about his glasses because she was crying uncontrollably. Oh my God. Hey, I mean, it's an emotional scene. It's an emotional scene. Next Gen says, I hate when teenagers go to horror movies for the purposes of saying this isn't even fucking scary, in hopes that they'll get laid by either their GF or something. Yeah, well, I mean, that's just the desensitization. Desensitization? I don't even know if that's a word. The desensitization, I think that's better, of Gen Z and Y and whatever the hell is, maybe Y is too young. I don't know. What's the teenagers? Z, Y? It's because they have everything horrific. It sounds like an excuse, but it is because anything horrific imaginable you can bring up on the internet. If I wanted to see somebody beheaded, I could find that in about 8 seconds. And it doesn't take long. And so, people are just not, they've seen it all. They've seen everything, so yeah, it probably doesn't scare them, to be honest with you. But that's also because they're looking for a different type of scare as well, right? You know what I mean? as they get older, they will mature and they will likely find different things scary. Not necessarily, you know, the Terrifier films, right? The blood, guts, and gore. All right, what do we got? Steve Evans says, kids can't stay off their phones for a movie. Went to see Barbie with my wife, and a girl next to me kept taking selfies. When I confronted her, she simply turned away and kept snapping away. Oh, fuck. Yeah, you know, and there's only so much you can do, right? Like, if the movie is playing, you know, you don't want to, you know, look, they're kids, and kids are kids. And, you know, they're at the movie theater. They're not out doing crack or cocaine or heroin. That's good. That's a good thing. I mean, maybe they're going to do it afterwards. I don't know. But, you know, it's good. Kids are kids. It's good they're in the movie theater. They're safe, and that's good. And that's fun. And that's good. And they're kids. Like, I get it. You know, and you can't raise too much hell because, you know, you're going to, then you're going to be loud and you're going to be the obnoxious one. And then, so it's a balancing act. Like, you have to pick and choose when you intervene as well, because I never go from 0 to 100 right out of the gate, right? You always let, you know, some time go by, you know, you see if it resolves itself. You know, if there's those two people behind you who are yipping and yapping during the trailers, you know, you wait and you go, okay, are they going to yip and yap during the movie? And maybe for the first 30 seconds, they are yip and yapping, and you're sitting there going, I'm going to fucking turn around, you little fucking, that's what you're feeling inside, right? But I usually wait. I usually give it, you know, some time to see if they settle, and sometimes they do. Sometimes they do and they shut up and I don't hear a peep about it the rest of the movie. And then sometimes you do have to say something. The one that I did, or the one that comes to mind, is I remember I went to see Godzilla, the Godzilla King of the Monsters from 2019. I've told this story before, but there was a young kid in front of me. I say young kid, probably in his late teens, early 20s. And throughout the pre-show and throughout the coming attractions, the trailers, he was on his phone playing, I don't know, Candy Crush or something. I don't know what the fuck he was playing. He was on his phone, and he was in the seat in front of me, and he was, you know, playing away. And I thought, okay, I took note of it. I thought, okay, well, we'll see how it goes. And then the movie begins and he's still on his phone. And the Warner Brothers logo comes up onto the screen. He's still on his phone. And it doesn't look like he's getting ready to wrap it up. You know what I mean? He looks like he's really invested. And so I just leaned in, because, you know, of the way that they're like this, right? The seats, you know, they're not like this or like this. So I leaned over and I leaned in right here, right beside his face. And all I said was, you're going to want to put that away. That's all I said was, you're going to want to put that away. Just like how I said it to you, you're going to want to put that away. And he went, and he put it away and didn't take it out for the whole movie. The whole movie he didn't take it out. That's all I said. I thought, no, I'm going to nip this in the ass now. Because, of course, as the lights came down and it's bright and it's right in my face and he doesn't have it down, he had the volume down. He had the sense to have that down. But he didn't have the brightness down, you know? So it was, I was like, I'm not putting up with that dog shit. Jesus. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Let me see here. JD is LA says, good thing I'm an adult now. I'll go to the movies at noon on a Sunday or Tuesday. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. John Jones says, I went to see A Nightmare on Elm Street at Retro Movie Night at our local Science Center, and people laughed hysterically at Marge's scenes, and it made me think of you, Dave. Oh, I'm not surprised. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I mean, when you go to watch if young teenagers, I'm not saying they were, but I'm just saying I have had this experience. If younger people are going to watch a classic older movie that you grew up with, chances are they will laugh at some of the funny, because it is funny to them. It's dated to them. You know, to us, I mean, we can look at movies like Halloween, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and because we've grown up with them, and obviously we understand where modern movie making is today in terms of technology and production value, we can look back at those movies that we adore from, our childhood and see the difference. I mean, we can see that, oh yeah, I look at A Nightmare on Elm. When I first watched A Nightmare on Elm Street, and maybe if you first watched A Nightmare on Elm Street, if you're my age, when we watched those movies in the 1980s, we weren't watching them thinking, wow, this looks dated, or that was hilarious, or geez, this production value looks old. Well, no, because we're in the moment. That is what movies looked like at that time. That was the film stock. That was the technology. That was the way movies were made. And so now, though, when we watch movies, when we watch those films, right, we can see the difference now, right? Because we have that perspective. But because we grew up with it, we look at it through a bit of a different lens, and we're able to still appreciate the movies and the storytelling and the scares and the technology. But if you're somebody that was born in 2002 or 2005 and you're going to a movie theater to watch A Nightmare on Elm Street or watch it at home, it's going to be absolutely, unequivocally hilarious to you. It will be. I mean, it will. I mean, when during Tina's death scene, when she grabs Freddy's face and takes his face off, right? And you just see his skull. In 1984, when I watched that movie, it was like, ah! In 1984, when the teenager saw that in the movie theater, it was, oh my God, But now a teenager seeing that is probably going, looks so fake, because they have no context. There's no... they just can't appreciate it in the same ways, right? They can. It's the exact same thing as when we were teenagers watching movies from the 50s. Now, as an adult, I really appreciate those old movies now. But as a teenager, if I was to watch, Psycho from 1960, I'd probably go, this is kind of, Whereas our parents would have been like, oh yeah, they would have seen the datedness of the movie as well from 1960 to 1985, right? But it would have been charming to them. It would have been, acceptable to them. It would have worked for them still. It still would have been scary for them because they grew up with it, right? So it happens with every generation. There's going to be, I don't know what's going to happen in terms of production value and technology from here on out, but whatever happens in the future, whatever technology there is in the future, whether it's VR, virtual reality, whatever, teenagers of today in 2024, or teenagers of 2044 or 54 will look back at whatever we're dealing with here in 2024 and go, you guys used to carry around bricks for phone. Excuse me while I just call my friend. Hi, yeah, it's me, because it's a chip in their brain or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always going to be that way. One day, teenagers will look back at these and go, okay. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, right? So, I mean, hopefully, I'd like to be around for that day. Hopefully I'm around for that day. I don't know if I will be, but you never know. You never know. All right. What's the time here? I've got everything, right? I've got all the super chats and all the member chats and everything. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. I don't believe I have. I don't think so anyway. So that's good. That's good. All right. Okay. We're going to wrap this up here in just a few moments. Logan Reynolds says, I'm only 27. Some people just don't know how to watch movies or appreciate the genius of something like Jaws and or Halloween. I agree with that, Logan, 100%. 100%. Mikey4587 says, hey, Dave, when is the next Two Dudes? Not sure yet, but it will be coming eventually. We're just trying to work all that out. Let me see. Batshit Scary says, we all have our phones with us, but I never check my phone once the theater starts. I agree. Same. I never do. Why would I? I'm in a movie theater watching a movie. Machete Slasher says, Terrifier 3 was another shit experience. Bunch of kids yelling stupid shit during the sexual or scary parts. After about 2 times, the joke got old, and I told them to shut the fuck up, and they did, but continued later. That's what I mean, man. That's what I mean. Batshit Scary says, here in the UK, we're all very reserved in cinemas. I've never experienced the cheering and clapping like you hear from the US, nor do I want to really. Yeah, it's very much a thing in the US, I think, as well. In Canada, we are, for the most part, we're also quite reserved when we watch our films. I mean, you'll hear laughing during a comedy. You'll hear some shrieks during, a horror movie. Sure. But the intrusive, well, like with anything in the United States, it's, this big, boisterous, blowhard audience. Not so much. Yeah, it is very much there's shit that I see on YouTube or people sharing on social media, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on in this theater? Like fights breaking out in the aisles. And, you see the movie happening in the background and there's people just fighting back and forth. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? I'm just like, oh, God, it's just, America, America. Jesus Christ. Mr. Horror Junkie 78 says, I remember last year I went and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and this young kid sitting next to me wouldn't sit still and was making too much noise. I ended up having to go see it again. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Dean Renner says the belligerent ignorance in a theater is inexcusable. It is. I agree 100%. It's absolutely unacceptable. There's no reason why anybody has to be like that. No reason. And if I had a baby or a child that was misbehaving or crying, whatever the case is, and I couldn't get them under control, I would remove them from the movie theater. I would say, okay, well, this is not working. I can't hinder anybody else's experience. We have to go home. We have to go home. And maybe we'll try again next week, or maybe I'll wait until it comes out on streaming. And if the child is upset and is upset that you took them out of theater, then you use it as a teaching moment. Well, we left because you were crying and you wouldn't shut up, or you were misbehaving, or you were kicking the chairs, or you were whatever the case is, and we had to leave. And that's what I would do. And I wouldn't come back. And there are good parents out there that will do that. There are good parents out there that have done that. And so not everybody, is like this, of course, but it's just so bloody ridiculous. Just so bloody ridiculous. All right, folks, listen, that's going to do it for me here on this episode of McRae Live. I want to thank you for tuning in for this fun little episode. I thought I would get up and talk about movie theater etiquette, stemming off of the story coming out of the theater experience from Wicked, where everybody was just dancing and singing at the very least. And God, if you want to know my thoughts on that, watch the whole stream. But this was a good one. Thank you to my moderators, of course, for doing what you do. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the member chats that came in, the super chats that came in. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here today. And I will be back very soon with another episode of McRae Live, of course. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your week. It's December. It's Christmas month. Some Christmas horror talk should be coming. But have a great rest of your, Thursday. Tuesday, everybody. And I will talk to you all very, very, very soon. Oh, hey, and if you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Tell me your horror stories. Tell me what's happened. Tell me your horror movie theater experience stories. I want to know in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. That's going to do it for me. In the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you soon. Cheers.